over 60, try eating peanut butter right before bed. What it does to your body overnight might genuinely surprise you. What if one of the single most effective things you could do tonight for your sleep, your muscles, your blood sugar, and your heart cost under $1 and is probably already in your pantry right now? I'm talking about eating a modest amount of natural peanut butter before you go to sleep. Not a full snack, just 1 to 2 tablespoons, roughly 30 to 60 minutes before lying down. And I already know what's going through your mind. Isn't that the exact opposite of what everyone recommends? But once I dug into the research on what actually happens inside the body overnight after 60, this habit started to look a lot more reasonable. In this video, I'll walk you through precisely what peanut butter does inside your body while you're asleep, starting with blood sugar and working through sleep quality, muscle recovery, mental clarity in the morning, heart health, and more. I'll also share the 3 best ways to eat it and the exact portion to use. Stick around until the end, because later I'm going to reveal a specific mineral found in peanut butter that a huge number of people over 60 are quietly running low on, and it affects your sleep, your muscles, your stress response, and your heart rhythm all at once. Most doctors never connect the dots on this one. Before we get started, I want to hear from you. What's your age? And have you been dealing with restless nights or waking up drained even after what should have been a full night's sleep? Leave your age and your experience down in the comments. I read every single one. What's really happening in your body while you sleep? Your body doesn't power down the second you fall asleep. It switches over into repair mode. Your muscles rebuild themselves fiber by fiber. Your brain clears out waste products. Your hormones reset themselves for the day ahead. This is straightforward biology, and it happens every single night, whether or not you're giving your body what it needs to do the job well. After 60, this entire process starts running less smoothly, in ways you can feel every single morning. You produce less growth hormone while you sleep. Muscle recovery becomes less efficient, and your blood sugar swings far more wildly overnight than it did back in your 40s or 50s. What does that actually look like day to day? You jolt awake at 2 or 3 in the morning for no obvious reason. You feel achy and heavy even after a solid 8 hours in bed. Your energy feels flat before you've even had your first sip of coffee. Most people just chalk this up to getting older, but a large share of it actually comes down to what your body has on hand to work with overnight. And that part you can absolutely influence. Blood sugar, the quiet reason you're wide awake at 2 a.m. Say blood sugar out loud, and most people immediately think diabetes. But blood sugar instability touches nearly every adult past 60, whether or not they've ever been diagnosed with anything. Here's a fairly typical night. You eat dinner around 6 or 7. By midnight, 4 or 5 hours later, your blood sugar has already dropped. Once it dips low enough, your body sounds an internal alarm. It releases cortisol and adrenaline to yank stored sugar back into your bloodstream. Those stress hormones then pull you right out of deep sleep. Nothing dramatic, just enough to leave you staring at the ceiling. Just enough to turn 8 hours in bed into something that barely feels like rest at all. Sound familiar? A large study published in Sleep Medicine Reviews found that adults over 50 experience noticeably more nighttime blood sugar fluctuations than younger adults, and those fluctuations directly interfere with deep sleep. The encouraging part is that this is fixable. Peanut butter sits low on the glycemic index, meaning it releases energy gradually over several hours rather than spiking and crashing. The mix of protein, healthy fat, and a modest amount of complex carbohydrate is exactly what your body needs to keep blood sugar steady through the night. Research from the American Diabetes Association shows that low glycemic foods eaten before sleep can meaningfully reduce overnight glucose swings in adults over 50. Picture it like tossing a slow-burning log onto a fire before turning in for the night. It doesn't flare up, it just holds a steady, quiet warmth until morning. Sleep quality. Why 8 hours in bed isn't always 8 hours of rest. You can be lying in bed for a full 8 hours and still wake up wiped out. The reason usually comes down to what your brain has on hand overnight. Melatonin is the main hormone that governs sleep, and producing it requires a specific amino acid called tryptophan. Tryptophan first converts into serotonin, the chemical responsible for that settled, calm feeling, and serotonin then converts into melatonin. If that chain breaks anywhere along the way, your brain can't get you into the deep, restorative sleep stages you actually need. Peanuts happen to be a natural source of tryptophan, and here's what makes peanut butter especially useful. Its healthy fats help tryptophan cross the blood-brain barrier more efficiently. In simple terms, that fat helps ferry the sleep-supporting amino acid into your brain faster. A study published in the Journal of Psychiatric Research found that dietary fat consumed in the evening directly supported melatonin production in older adults. So when you eat peanut butter before bed, you're essentially handing your brain the raw ingredients it needs to manufacture its own sleep hormone that's genuinely useful. Hunger hormones. Why your stomach keeps waking you up. Plenty of people past 60 deal with this, but rarely bring it up. Waking up hungry in the dead of night, or lying there unable to drift off because the stomach is quietly rumbling. That's not a willpower problem, that's biology. Past 60, ghrelin, the hormone that signals hunger, becomes more sensitive, while leptin, the hormone that signals fullness, becomes less effective. When those two fall out of balance overnight, sleep gets choppy. Peanut butter helps in two separate ways. First, its protein content suppresses ghrelin, quieting that feed me signal through the night. Research published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that a small protein-rich snack before bed meaningfully cut down on overnight ghrelin spikes. Second, the fat slows how quickly your stomach empties, so that feeling of satisfaction sticks around longer. You're not stuffed. You're just comfortable enough to actually sleep. I'll give you the exact portion in a moment, so stick with me. We're about halfway through, and if any of this is landing for you, take 1 second and hit that like button. It genuinely helps us reach more people who need to hear this. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please join Senior Vital Health. We put out honest, practical content on nutrition and health for people over 60 every single week. I'd also love to know, how has your health been lately? And specifically with sleep, do you struggle to fall asleep, or do you fall asleep fine and then wake up partway through the night? Let me know in the comments. I genuinely want to hear it. Muscle repair. Why what you eat before bed matters more than the gym. Your muscles don't actually rebuild themselves at the gym. They rebuild while you sleep. Every step you took today, every flight of stairs you climbed, created tiny amounts of stress in your muscle fibers that your body repairs overnight. The problem after 60 is that this process gets noticeably less efficient. Scientists refer to it as anabolic resistance. Your muscles simply stop responding to protein the way they once did. That means protein needs to be delivered more deliberately, including at night, when the repair work is actually taking place. A landmark study in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise found that consuming protein before sleep meaningfully improved overnight muscle protein synthesis in older adults. 2 tablespoons of natural peanut butter deliver roughly 7 to 8 grams of protein. At night, while your body is deep in repair mode and needs a steady stream of amino acids, even that modest amount makes a measurable difference. If you know that creaky, stiff, heavy feeling of first getting out of bed in the morning, this is one of the most relevant things you'll hear all day. Morning clarity. Why you're foggy before the day even starts. That groggy, sluggish feeling so many people over 60 have simply accepted as normal actually has a nutritional root cause. When your blood sugar dropped overnight and your body released cortisol to correct it, those stress hormones are frequently still elevated when you wake up. You're essentially starting the day already in a low-grade stress state. That shows up as brain fog, low motivation, and that heavy dragging feeling that takes hours to shake off. Now flip the scenario. When your blood sugar held steady through the night, your stress hormones stayed calm along with it. Your body finished its repair cycles without interruption, and your brain wakes up genuinely rested. Research in nutritional neuroscience found that stable overnight blood glucose was one of the strongest predictors of morning mental clarity in adults over 55, even stronger than total hours slept. It's not only about how long you sleep, it's about what's actually happening during those hours. The hidden mineral almost nobody over 60 is getting enough of. This is the part I asked you to wait for. Peanut butter isn't just protein and fat. 2 tablespoons of natural peanut butter provide roughly 49 milligrams of magnesium, and research suggests a significant share of American adults over 60 aren't getting enough magnesium from their regular diet. Magnesium has earned the nickname the relaxation mineral for good reason. It switches on your parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for calming your body down, slowing your heart rate, and preparing you for sleep. It also regulates GABA, a neurotransmitter that quiets down brain activity and makes it easier both to fall asleep and to stay asleep. Low magnesium has been strongly linked to insomnia, nighttime muscle cramps, poor sleep efficiency, and irregular heart rhythms in older adults. If you've ever bolted awake at night with your heart pounding strangely or been jerked out of sleep by a leg cramp, low magnesium is very often part of the picture. The monounsaturated fats in peanut butter, the same kind found in olive oil and avocado, add yet another layer of benefit by reducing low-grade inflammation overnight. Chronic inflammation is one of the main reasons older adults wake up feeling stiff and mentally dull. So from just 2 tablespoons before bed, you're getting magnesium to settle your nervous system, healthy fat to calm inflammation, and protein to rebuild your muscles, all while you're asleep. What about weight gain? The real story on eating before bed. I hear this concern constantly, that eating before bed leads to weight gain, but the science on this is a lot more nuanced than that. What actually matters is the type of food you're eating and your overall daily calorie intake. High sugar snacks before bed absolutely can encourage fat storage, but a small protein and fat snack, like natural peanut butter, is a different story entirely. A Florida State University study found that a small protein-rich nighttime snack of around 150 calories improved metabolic rate and did not contribute to fat gain in otherwise healthy adults. Here's the logic behind it. When your blood sugar crashes overnight, your body reads that as a mild starvation signal and slows your metabolism to hang on to fat. Give it a small, steady fuel source instead, and it stays in active repair and burn mode all night long. For people over 60 keeping an eye on their weight, done the right way, this habit may actually work in your favor. Heart health. What peanut butter is doing for your cardiovascular system overnight. For a lot of you, heart health is personal. Maybe your doctor has brought up cholesterol or blood pressure, and those words have been quietly sitting in the back of your mind ever since. Peanut butter is rich in mono and polyunsaturated fats that actively raise your HDL, the good cholesterol, while helping bring LDL down. A long-term study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that regular consumption of nuts and nut butters was linked to a significantly lower risk of heart attack and stroke in adults over 50. There's also a nighttime angle worth mentioning. Your blood pressure is supposed to naturally dip while you sleep, but in a lot of older adults, that dip doesn't happen properly. Cardiologists call it non-dipping, and it's associated with elevated cardiovascular risk. Research suggests that stable blood sugar and lower cortisol overnight, both of which are low glycemic bedtime snack supports, are connected to healthier nighttime blood pressure patterns. That small spoonful before bed may quietly be protecting your heart every single night. The 3 best ways to eat it. Peanut butter works perfectly well on its own, but paired with the right food, it becomes even more effective. The first pairing is peanut butter with banana. Bananas bring potassium and magnesium to the table, which support muscle relaxation and help cut down on nighttime cramps, along with a small dose of tryptophan that adds to the sleep-supporting effect. Together, they create a smooth, sustained release of energy through the night. 1 medium banana with a tablespoon of peanut butter is all you need. The second pairing is peanut butter with whole grain toast. Whole grain toast contributes slow-digesting complex carbohydrates that feed beneficial gut bacteria, support serotonin production, and provide a steady trickle of glucose overnight. This combination works particularly well for anyone who tends to wake up hungry or who's moderately active. 1 slice with 1 to 2 tablespoons of peanut butter is the right portion. The third pairing is peanut butter with apple slices, and this is the one I recommend most often to people watching their calories. Apples are packed with soluble fiber that buffers the fruit's natural sugar beautifully, so there's no blood sugar spike. Half an apple with a tablespoon of peanut butter is light, satisfying, and metabolically smart. Rotate between all 3 throughout the week. What to check for on the label. Not every jar of peanut butter is created equal. Plenty of popular brands contain added sugars like corn syrup, along with hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oils, ingredients that spike blood sugar, drive up inflammation, and work directly against everything we've just talked about. If you spot hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oils on the ingredient list, put the jar back. Real natural peanut butter has exactly 2 ingredients, peanuts and maybe a small amount of salt. Yes, the oil will separate. Yes, you'll have to stir it. That's actually the sign that you're eating real food. Look for labels that say natural or no added sugar, and always read the ingredient list, not just the front of the jar. If you need an alternative, almond butter offers very similar benefits with a bit more magnesium, and sunflower seed butter is a solid choice for anyone who needs to steer clear of nuts entirely. Who should be cautious? Peanut butter before bed isn't the right move for everyone. If you have a peanut allergy, skip it and reach for an alternative instead. If you deal with acid reflux or GERD, high-fat foods close to bedtime can sometimes make symptoms worse, so start with a very small portion or check with your doctor first. If you're managing type 2 diabetes with medication, a bedtime snack can interact with your blood sugar and your medication timing in ways your healthcare provider needs to weigh in on. And if you're following a strict calorie deficit, even 100 to 200 healthy calories at night could slow your progress, so keep an eye on your total daily intake. For most healthy adults over 60, this habit is both safe and beneficial, but your own doctor understands your specific situation in a way this video simply can't. How much to eat and when. The ideal amount is 1 to 2 tablespoons of natural peanut butter, eaten 30 to 60 minutes before bed. That works out to roughly 90 to 190 calories, enough to stabilize your blood sugar, provide a meaningful dose of magnesium, and support better sleep without leaving you feeling weighed down. If you're pairing it with a banana, apple, or toast, stick with 1 tablespoon. Eating it by itself, 2 tablespoons is the right call. Don't eat it the moment you climb into bed. Give your body at least 30 minutes to start digesting. Consistency matters more than perfection here. 4 to 5 nights a week, kept up over several weeks, is where the real changes start showing up. Better sleep, fewer middle-of-the-night wake-ups, less morning stiffness, and steadier energy from the moment you open your eyes. A quick word before we close. I want to speak to you directly for a moment. Everything shared in this video is meant to inform and empower you. It is not a replacement for guidance from your own doctor. I care about your well-being, which is exactly why I want to be upfront about this. If you're managing chronic health conditions, taking prescription medication, or dealing with heart disease, diabetes, or kidney issues, please talk with your doctor before adding any new nighttime habit to your routine. This one included. Every person is different, and your doctor understands your specific situation in ways a video simply cannot. Bring what you've learned here to your next appointment and have that conversation. Taking ownership of your nutrition is one of the most powerful things you can do at any age, and doing it alongside your doctor is always the smartest path forward. Let's bring it all together. Peanut butter before bed stabilizes your blood sugar overnight, which keeps stress hormones calm so your body can stay in deep restorative sleep. It supports melatonin production through tryptophan, and its healthy fats help the tryptophan reach your brain efficiently. Its protein suppresses ghrelin, the hunger hormone, so your stomach doesn't jolt you awake. It supplies amino acids for overnight muscle repair, helping counter the anabolic resistance that makes recovery harder past 60. Stable overnight blood sugar means lower cortisol come morning and genuine mental clarity when you open your eyes. Its magnesium calms your nervous system, supports GABA, reduces leg cramps, and may support a healthier heart rhythm. Its monounsaturated fats reduce overnight inflammation and support healthier cholesterol and nighttime blood pressure. 1 to 2 tablespoons of natural peanut butter, 30 to 60 minutes before bed, 4 to 5 nights a week. Simple, inexpensive, and backed by real science. Your body is doing extraordinary work for you every single night, rebuilding your muscles, clearing out your brain, balancing your hormones, and getting you ready for another day. The least we can do is hand it the right materials to work with. I hope this video gave you something real to actually act on, not just a tip, but a reason behind it. Because once you understand why something works, you're far more likely to actually stick with it. And sticking with it is where the real results come from. If you found this useful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It genuinely helps us reach more people who are lying awake at night, wondering why their sleep isn't what it used to be. And if you haven't subscribed yet, join our channel and turn on notifications. We're here every week with new videos on nutrition and healthy living for people over 60. Take good care of yourself. You've earned it. I'll see you in the next one.